What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Futties Cuadrado, the 95 rated right back, ahead of obviously the Serie Weekend League, obviously the 7, 12 and 15 for extra picks, and we have had Cuadrado and also Tonali in objectives / SBCs. Cuadrado has had a 1 increase on his weak foot, taking him to a 5-star, 4-star, which is always incredible, and the stats are pretty nice. So it's interesting because Cuadrado can, like a lot of people, fit in pretty much most positions, and I think he's 5'10", so I wouldn't necessarily want him in centre back, but you could go right mid. To be honest, the finishing, I'd probably keep him at right back, to be honest. Maybe you could scrape him to a CDM, but again, it all depends on, obviously, who else you've got in your team. We will look at the overall for, obviously, who's in the same position, and basically where his best position's going to be. We're going to keep him at right back for the moment. He is 95 rated, and he is coming in at just shy of 400,000 coins. Across the board, Xbox and PS, and then also 430. We will on PC. We will look at the whole SBC, so bear with me for that. Let's get straight into it then. So pace is incredible. Shooting, to be honest, he's got some nice little parts. Passing's decent. Obviously, free kick accuracy being the lowest. Really not too fussed about that. Obviously, long pass a little bit lower than everything else, and again, it's still decent enough with everything else. Obviously, dribbling is absolute fire. Cannot wait to try that one out. Defending's good, and obviously physicality is quite good, and we are going to be using the Sentinel trait, which gives him 97 defending and 90 physical, taking his strength up to 81. He will turn himself into a 98 rated right back, pretty much one of the best on the game in terms of stats, and we have got flair as his trait. So let's jump into Cuadrado and see what he's all about. Then let's have a look at Cuadrado himself then. Obviously, in terms of what he was like prior, we have had a couple of versions of him, from Rule Breaker to Team of the Season, now to a big boy Futties. He's always been a very, very quick right back, somebody who is quite reliable. Animation-wise, I don't think this had too many issues. Is he onside? Just off. But I don't think animation-wise has ever been awful. I feel like in terms of kind of nation, obviously has got the strong link to Ronaldo, which has always been a benefit, but I believe there has always been someone better, but we will double check at the end, as I feel like the name is escaping me. But I think for me the upgrade is very nice. Little bit more expensive than what I was expecting for a right back at this point, but that's poor from me. I do think that obviously he is going to necessarily be worth it, especially for this weekend league. That is great little close dribbling from him, and we can imagine if you are playing like a 5 at the back with this Serie A squad, then you are going to absolutely love him as a right wing back. Neymar missed it. He's always been a great player to have, who can just literally bomb it everywhere. I think pretty much every card has had, even from his 81, pretty much above like 89, 88 pace. So obviously it was only kind of a natural that he'd get 99 with this one. I think as well, he's always been attacking as well. That's always the nice side of him. You can see him constantly running. So we find the overlap. Can we get this ball in? We're looking at that back post to El Shawari. He's going to go for that volley. That's a save and a half from Lloris. But then also you can see the desire to get back there very, very quick. We were looking at, I'm not going to lie, we were looking at Cuadrado a little bit too much there. We let Mbappe through. And also, if you have obviously got a Ronaldo duplicate in your club, and you are struggling to get that link, obviously he does provide the strong link for Ronaldo. So that is always a little bit of an added bonus with him that you can get alongside his kind of assisting or actually attacking options he does provide as going forward. And I believe the one thing as well is he just never tires. Always on the ball, always back and forth, never really stops there. I think the biggest thing for me, especially the underrated side of him, is obviously that 5-star, 4-star. That is absolutely class from a right back to have that, just as a little added bonus. That is great play. Ronaldo, I should have went for the shot. Was trying to be too cheeky. Needed to get that goal in, really. Great interception / tackle from Cuadrado, even winning the throw-in, which is very impressive. Would I say straight away that this guy outweighs his SBC price? That's a solid ball. DePaul going for it. I think he's he is worth it. I think most definitely for the weekend league, if you are struggling without a right back, then I think, yes, he is necessarily worth the coins. Do I think that he is the person you should be doing? Probably not now. What I mean by that is there is so many players out right now in terms of icons, in terms of Depay. You've obviously got Dybala still out. You've got a lot of options that go forward and will necessarily make a difference. As he slotted it, Cuadrado, beautiful. But I do think there is better players for the coins that you're going to spend. If he was just 100, maybe 150 cheaper, 100% send for it. 400k, don't know. He's always good as well for this little 1-2 here. He's got the great pass down the middle there. Look at that. Splits everybody. Just a little dink. Was trying to find somebody. Normally I'd take it inside, but we've done that so many times. It does get boring that the same attack is always the one that you go for. You go down the byline, you try and cut in and try and get that ball across from like about here. And it's just, it does get a little bit tedious at times. And it works a lot of the time, to be honest. Cuadrado out. Get that little 1-2 again. One Lozano trying to bomb forward here. Draw the defenders in. Makes that pass. Great touch from Lozano. Does get the foul. Big ball in. It's not the greatest, to be honest. Cuadrado just making sure at the last ditch there. Love to see that in the 75th. Little 1-2 with Traore. And look at that. Every single ball has been absolutely stunning with what we needed. Oh my, Acuna with an absolute purling free kick. Did not expect that one to go in. So going into the overall for Cuadrado then. So let's just double check. It's coming in at 374 on the Xbox. You've got to give away the following teams. So it's an 83, one Juventus player and a team of the season / inform, 185 with a Serie A, 186 with an inform and a team of the season, 187. So what the big thing which makes the cost for this one is the chemistry. May not seem like a lot, but obviously with all of the players that we've got at the moment, with chemistry players, so yes, you may have like a 92 DePaul or 93 DePaul, but you've got to link him. Then buying the 82, the 83s, they become quite expensive. So what you have to do is overcompensate. So 90, you put like 3, 4 92s in, and you can put some gold commons in. That normally is the best way to get your chemistry. So I would suggest that with a lot of these, and I think you will find a lot of them do the same. So for instance, with this one, you've got obviously a few commons here. You've got a few 90s. They are coming in relatively cheap, 20k each for 92s. You overcompensate on the rating to then be able to put the chemistry players in. That is pretty much throughout everybody. So that's not just this. It is literally everybody, every SBC at the moment that is expensive. You want to be overcompensating with the high rateds, because if you go to the cheapest rated, then you can see literally as soon as you get into a 98 rated card's only costing you 100k at the moment. Obviously 77 for a 97, and as you see, probably 96 with Oblak is the most efficient price. But again, I think that's going too much. I reckon you could go and get 293s and then obviously split that out. I'd probably say 91 to 92 is the sweet spot, but obviously if you're doing the SBCs, then you get what you're given basically. We went a centre on, in which obviously, like I say, takes him to a 98 rated right back, or obviously a 96 centre back if you wanted, 95 DM. I feel like the two positions I'd like him in is either the right back or the CDM. The CDM depends on one thing, and that is, have we got many other players at right back? So Serie, I feel like there's someone I'm missing. No, I'm not. I really didn't think. So basically, he is the best right back by a considerable amount. Bruno Perez and obviously his team of the season were the next best two. Left back, obviously, we've got a few, so you could necessarily put a left back at right back, and then obviously go for a CDM. But with the fact that we've got Tonali, obviously we've got Florenzi and Locatelli, I would probably say keep him at right back. Then you've obviously got a Tonali CDM, a Cuadrado right back. You then have like Theo Hernandez on the left back, and the Chiellini-Bonucci pairing for the centre back, or even De Ligt as well. That five at the back is looking very tasty. Cuadrado, Bonucci, Chiellini, De Ligt, and Theo Hernandez. That is just a unreal defense right there. And then obviously team of the season, Donnarumma in net. Very, very nice indeed. So is he worth it? That is the big question. That's what you've all came here for. And I think, yes, he is worth it if you are using a Serie A squad. If you have no interest in using him, I'd probably leave him just because he is a little bit expensive. If you've got dupes, if you've got time, then yeah, I think if you can grind him out, he's pretty good. Obviously, you've got 7 days to complete him, so there's no absolute rush right now. We still have rewards, we still have the weekend. There is still so much that we can get before obviously finishing him. I do think if you are going to do him, then possibly do him by the end of Friday, Saturday, so you actually get him in the weekend league for the Serie squad. But I wouldn't say he is massively go out and buy him now sort of person, because you have got a team of the season that is 66k at the moment, but that is kind of like inflation because of his 95, so that will drop down again. So I think personally he is good, and I do think he is very, very good for the coins that you get. I just think there's far too much out right now that I'd want to put 400k of worth of fodder in. I'd much rather go do a Depay, a Dybala, even get half of Cruyff done for that sort of coin, that sort of players. And I know it's not coins and it's more players, but they are harder to come by, especially because more than likely you are spending coins to get these high rated players. So I would probably go and do one of the big boys rather than Cuadrado, and maybe just stick to his team of the season. You can obviously go and get Bruno Perez instead. There's plenty of players that you can get other than him. That being said, like I say, I do think he's a good card. I just think the SBC is a little bit higher than what I would recommend for a defender. Overall wise, I'd give him a solid 9.5. SBC is what's really kind of driving that down for me. I think 200k would have been more fair, because we are at the end of the game. Even putting SBCs at a cheaper price is really not that terrible. They've done quite well with a lot of these Futties SBCs, whereas I think they've kind of got this one a little bit wrong, in my opinion. So let me know down below what you think about him. Make sure you like and subscribe on the video, and let me know, would you do Cuadrado, or do you think it's a little bit expensive? Let me know down below, like and subscribe. Pieces.